Are you in love with the roar of an engine? To the point where just hearing it, you can immediately tell if it's a V8 or a V12. Then this video is definitely for you. Today we're going to look back at history to uncover the most insane racing engine blocks ever made. Not because of their high RPM, but because of their displacement. So massive it's hard to believe. From 21 all the way up to 36 liters. These machines are not just the heart of speed, but also a testament to a golden age, when mechanical engineering was ready to push beyond all limits. And guess what? You won't believe. Who holds the crown at the end of the video? Number 10, Blitzen Benz I4, 21.5 liters. The first one on the list is a true legend, dating all the way back to 1911. It's the massive I4 engine block with a displacement of 21.5 liters, belonging to the Blitzen Benz. Sounds strange, right? Only 4 cylinders, but each cylinder is as big as a water barrel. Piston diameter? 180 millimeter. Stroke? 200 millimeters. That means you could almost fit your arm inside each cylinder. With around 200 horsepower, incredibly powerful for the early 20th century. This car reached speeds of 227 kilometers per hour and broke the world speed record in 1911. No supercharger, no turbo, just pure power from a giant engine block, burning fuel like a dragon-breathing fire. Blitzen Benz is the embodiment of the philosophy, the bigger the better, a time when engineers feared nothing, except the laws of physics. Number 9, Fiat S76 i6 21.7 liters. We just encountered a 4-cylinder engine with a displacement of 21 liters earlier. So, can you imagine what a 6-cylinder engine with a displacement of 21.7 liters would look like? That's the Fiat A12 engine. Originally, it was an aircraft engine used during World War I, but later on, it was mounted on an old race car with a name that sounds extremely bold. Fiat Mephistopheles, meaning the evil one. This engine produced 316 horsepower. It may not sound like much by today's standards, but back in 1924, it was enough to push the car to over 235 kilometers per hour. Each time the engine started, its sound echoed like a roar from hell, just like the name Mephistopheles. And do you know the most interesting part? This car was banned from racing just because it was too dangerous. A 6-cylinder engine, a displacement of 21.7 liters. It once made the entire racing world take a step back. Number 8, Napier Lion W12, 23.9 liters. This engine is not only large, it's also so strange it's fascinating. With its W12 design, meaning 3 rows of cylinders arranged in an arrow shape, the Napier Lion engine, with a displacement of 23.9 liters, is the heart of the legendary race car, Napier Railton. With around 580 horsepower and nearly 1,700 Newton-meters of torque, this car broke all speed limits at the Brooklands racetrack in the UK. In 1935, it reached a speed of 231 kilometers per hour, a record that was never broken because the racetrack closed shortly after. But what truly makes the Napier Lion special isn't just the power, it's the smoothness and incredible mechanical balance with a pure mechanical W12 design. No electronics, no supercharger. Just metal, camshafts, and passion. Number 7, Derek 200 horsepower, V8, 25.4 liters. If you think a V8 is something modern, think again. In 1906, Derek did the unthinkable. They paired 2 massive I4 engine blocks together to create a V8 engine with a displacement of 25.4 liters. A machine that was ahead of its time by almost half a century. With around 200 horsepower, it might seem light compared to today's standards. But at the turn of the 20th century, that was destruction-level power. The Darroch 200 horsepower was mounted on a frame with almost no suspension, no disc brakes, no power steering, nothing. And yet it still reached a speed of 197 kilometers per hour. Right on the Daytona Beach, the engine was so large that the body of the car almost looked like just a radiator, and an engine cover stretched like a yacht. And the exhaust roar, no mufflers, no air filters, just fire, smoke, and the sound of metal screaming. This was the first definition of a speed monster, one that stunned the entire world in 1906. Number 6. Curtiss Conqueror V12, 25.7 liters. Did you know some classic race cars actually used real aircraft engines? Not the airplane-like kind, but engines from fighter planes of World War II. And the Curtiss Conqueror V12 engine, with a displacement of 25.7 liters, is one of the most iconic examples. In 1936, the legend Ab Jenkins installed this engine into the Mormon Meteor II, based on the chassis of a Duesenberg. The result? 750 horsepower, and the car could run for 24 hours at an average speed of over 250 kilometers per hour. It broke a series of world endurance speed records. But what makes the Curtiss Conqueror truly special is that it wasn't made to explode in power like dragsters. It was made to maintain extreme power for hundreds of laps on the Bonneville Salt Flats. The Curtiss Conqueror was not just powerful, it was durable, loud, and terrifying. A machine that made the world look at America in a whole new way. Number 5. RollsRoyce Merlin V12 27.0 liters. This is not a traditional race car engine. It's the heart of a fighter plane, specifically the legendary Spitfire, a symbol of British aerial combat during World War II. And that engine was mounted into a streetcar named the Beast. In 1973, an eccentric engineer named John Dodd installed the RollsRoyce Merlin V12 engine with a displacement of 27.0 liters, equipped with a supercharger, into a custom-built car with the shape of a limousine, crossed with a monster. The result? A long, tank-like car, but it could reach speeds over 300 kilometers per hour. And at that time, no one believed it was real. The Beast was once recorded as the most powerful car in the world, and even though it never competed in any professional races, it still deserves a place on this list. Why? Because it ran, it roared like a storm, and it made everything around it feel still every time the Merlin engine began to howl. Number 4. Liberty L12 V12-27.0 liters. This is a story, both full of mechanical essence and like an excerpt from an epic tragedy. The Liberty L12 is a V12 engine with a displacement of 27.0 liters, manufactured by the United States during World War I. Powerful, simple, and incredibly durable. But by 1926, it found its ideal environment when British driver J.G. Parry Thomas mounted it into a car named Babs. This car looked like nothing more than a primitive rocket, but when the Liberty L12 roared to life, it helped Babs break the world speed record, reaching 273.6 kilometers per hour, right on the Pendine Sands Beach. A number that was insane at the time. But then, tragedy struck. Just a year later, Parry Thomas was killed in an attempt to break the record again. The Babs was buried beneath the cold sands and remained still for 42 years, until it was unearthed and restored. Today, the car still lives, still roaring like it did back then, a reminder of sacrifice, passion, and machines that transcended their own era. Number 3. Allison V1710 V12-28.0 liters. You think modern dragsters are already powerful enough? Well, let's go back to 1957. Art and Walt Arfons, two brothers who were a bit crazy, decided to shove an entire aircraft engine into a custom-built dragster. That engine was the Allison V1710-AV12, with a displacement of 28.0 liters. This engine had been used in fighter planes like the P-38 Lightning or the P-40 Warhawk during World War II. But under the hands of the Arfons brothers, it was no longer an aircraft engine. It became a weapon to burn up the straight track. With up to 2,000 horsepower delivered through a custom drive shaft, the Green Monster No. 5 reached a speed of 254 kilometers per hour in just 402 meters, a standard drag strip distance, completely handmade. No ECU, no traction control, Just steel courage in an engine from the sky. And the sound, it didn't sound like a car. It sounded like a fighter plane taking off, but taking off just above the ground. The Allison V1710 was not just powerful. It gave birth to a generation of aircraft engine dragsters, opening an era where power had no limits, unless you ran out of courage to drive it. Number 2, Fiat S76, Beast of Turin. I4, 28.5 liters. That's right, you're not seeing things. Only 4 cylinders, but with a displacement of 28.5 liters. This is the Fiat S76, also known by the name that gives people goosebumps, Beast of Turin. Fiat built it with a single goal in mind, to break the world speed record, and to do that, they created cylinders so large you could hide your head inside them. This engine produced roughly 300 horsepower, an insane number for 1911, and because of that, the car could reach 217 kilometers per hour. No ECU, no supercharger, no disc brakes, just fire, gasoline, and a fierce belief in red-hot metal. And the noise? It sounded like long-range artillery, roaring and shaking the air. Flames shot out of the exhaust pipe that was over a meter long. It was this that stunned the crowds back then. Only 2 Fiat S76 cars were ever made, and after more than 100 years, only one still exists. A machine that transcended its time. Terrifying, but also irresistibly captivating. Number 1, RollsRoyce RV12, 36.7 liters. If there's an engine worthy of being called the king of speed of the 20th century, it would be the Rolls-Royce RV12. Its displacement? 36.7 liters. A colossal figure, almost unimaginable for any vehicle ever made. Initially, the Rolls-Royce R was designed for racing planes, to compete in the prestigious Schneider Trophy. But by 1935, it was mounted on the Campbell-Railton Bluebird, with one sole purpose: to break the 300 miles per hour barrier, equivalent to 484.6 kilometers per hour on land. With power ranging from 2,300 to 2,500 horsepower and a massive twin supercharger, the Bluebird propelled legendary driver Malcolm Campbell to become the first person in history to surpass 300 miles per hour on land. An iconic achievement, not only for automobiles, but for the entire history of human engineering. Now imagine this. You're sitting behind the wheel. Ahead of you is the vast white desert of Bonneville Salt Flats. Under the hood, 36.7 liters of metal, roaring like a battleship engine. And all you need to do is press the accelerator. You're riding a speed storm. No ABS, no traction control, no electronics of any kind. Just you and a superlative machine, pure mechanical power. The engines on this list aren't just big. They are monuments to passion, engineering, and courage. They were born in an era where limits were meant to be surpassed, and speed was something people were willing to trade safety for to reach. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to continue exploring other legendary machines together. Now, which machine impressed you the most in the top 10? Leave a comment below, and let's continue our passion for speed together. See you all in the next videos.